Tommy felt uncomfortable because he sort of had a chat with me to just ask me if I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I just said, no, I have questions.
They were more than a couple. They were a phenomenon, a glittering symbol of modern love, playing out on our screens, in our magazines. Somizi Mhlongo, the irrepressible, iconic entertainer, and Mohale Motaung, the younger, elegant man who stepped into that whirlwind and promised forever. Their love story was a fairy tale we were all invited to, the lavish wedding, the heartfelt vows. But fairy tales are just stories, and behind the glamour and the glamorous Instagram posts, something was breaking. After years of silence, of dignified retreat, Mohale Motaung is finally breaking his. What really happened behind the closed doors of that beautiful home? What wasn't being said when the cameras stopped rolling? This isn't just about celebrity. It's about something far more profound: identity, power, and the quiet trauma of living a life that isn't your own. Long before the hashtags, Mohale Motaung was a young man navigating his own path. His world was quiet, measured. Somizi Mhlongo was a household name, a choreographer, actor, media personality. His life was a vibrant, chaotic, public performance. Their worlds collided. The courtship was a spectacle documented on Somizi's reality show, Living the Dream with Somizi. Viewers watched as the vibrant Somizi pursued the calm Mohale. It was portrayed as opposites attracting. The proposal was a grand gesture, perfectly orchestrated for the camera. The wedding was a national event, a multi-day celebration. In that moment, it was impossible to believe it was anything but real. But even then, a subtle hierarchy was being established. This was Somizi's narrative, his show, his rhythm of life. Mohale was integrating into a pre-existing universe. The early days of the marriage were presented as a continuation of the fairy tale. They built a stunning home together. But the foundation of any relationship, especially one under intense scrutiny, is built in the quiet, unseen moments. And it was there that the first cracks began to form. This wasn't just a marriage, it was a merger into a media empire. Their relationship was content. Their fights, their reconciliations, all were potential storylines. Imagine the pressure, the constant performance of happiness. For Somizi, a veteran, this was second nature. For Mohale, it was profoundly disorienting. He spoke later about the loss of self. His identity became Mohale, Somizi's husband. His own ambitions were filtered through the lens of the hashtag #SoMohale brand. The power dynamic was inevitably skewed. Somizi was the older, established partner, the primary breadwinner, the gatekeeper to the platform. How do you assert your independence in that structure? How do you claim your space in a home that feels like it belongs to someone else's narrative? Mohale, more reserved, began to feel isolated. The constant scrutiny was a weight. He felt like he was walking on eggshells. The home that should have been his sanctuary was also a set. The husband who should have been his confidant was also his producer. The very thing that made their relationship celebrated, its public nature, became the thing that poisoned it. The line between performance and reality blurred until it disappeared. The first public sign was a whisper, a deleted Instagram post, a cryptic comment. Followers noticed a distance. Then, in 2021, the earthquake. Allegations surfaced against Somizi. Then, a separate personal leak, an audio recording allegedly of Somizi discussing his relationship with Mohale in shockingly candid and disparaging terms. The recording was a gut punch. The man heard was not the loving husband presented on television. He spoke of Mohale with a stunning lack of respect. For Mohale, it must have been utterly devastating. Somizi addressed it in a tearful interview. He admitted the recording was real, attributing it to a private, angry conversation. He apologized, but the spotlight swung to Mohale. He maintained a stoic, dignified public silence. This was interpreted in many ways, but it was likely the reaction of a man profoundly humiliated, trying to find a way to breathe. The damage was fatal. The trust, already fragile, was shattered. How rebuild a relationship when its most intimate contempt is public? They tried to present a united front, but the light was gone. The performances seemed forced. The end was quiet. Mohale simply moved out. He left the home they had built and disappeared from public view. Somizi continued on his show, speaking vaguely about working on things. But Mohale's absence was a presence in itself. For Mohale, this was a period of intense pain and necessary retreat. He has spoken about this as one of the darkest times of his life. The humiliation, the collapse, the scrutiny. It culminated in a deep depression. He felt betrayed, used, and utterly alone. He deleted social media. He avoided the press. He retreated to his family. This was an act of profound self-preservation. He was finally choosing himself over the brand, over the persona. Meanwhile, the public narrative continued without him. Somizi began to shape the story of the separation on his own terms. Mohale's silence allowed this narrative to solidify. He became a ghost in his own story. This period wasn't a surrender, it was an incubation, a time to remember who he was before the whirlwind. He was grieving the loss of a marriage, a future, and the person he had been forced to become. After years of silence, Mohale Motaung decided to tell his story. He spoke not with anger, but with a devastating clarity. He confirmed the marriage was a prison of performance. He spoke of the pressure to conform, to suppress his own personality. He detailed the loneliness of a relationship that felt like a business partnership. He addressed the audio leak with profound sadness. He described the deep humiliation and the trauma of a private betrayal becoming public entertainment. He revealed that after that, there was no true path back. Most strikingly, Mohale spoke about power and control. He described feeling like a prop. His opinions were dismissed, his desires sidelined. He talked about emotional manipulation and the exhausting effort of a one-sided relationship. His revelations were about psychological dynamics. He painted a picture of a relationship that was fundamentally unequal, where authenticity was sacrificed for content. He was reclaiming his narrative. The response was seismic. For many, it was a shocking reframing. For others, it was a powerful validation. Mohale's quiet dignity gave his words immense weight. Somizi's response was measured. He acknowledged a difficult past, expressed well wishes, and emphasized his own growth. He avoided a public feud. But the court of public opinion had shifted. People began to see the relationship through Mohale's eyes, the eyes of a young man consumed by a celebrity machine. Today, their paths have diverged. Somizi continues his career in the spotlight. Mohale has embarked on a different journey. He has focused on his mental health and rebuilding his life on his own terms. He speaks about self-love and healing. His story is no longer #SoMohale. It is number Mohale. His exposure wasn't vengeance, it was liberation. In telling his truth, he finally set himself free. If you found this deep dive compelling, make sure to like this video. What was the most shocking revelation to you? Let us know in the comments below.
Hashtags, and they can guarantee to get us trending.
I promise you we're going to give your festival the full treatment.
Influencers, media coverage, your into.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Yeah. You know, I'm happy. But this doesn't solve our problem, right?
Oh, that, yeah. Kutso is investing.
Sponsoring.
Sponsoring, I mean.
Oh, okay. How much?
10 million.
Oh, wow.